He was doing cocaine out of his school locker at 17 years old.
Wow.
Yeah.
So you basically went through 5 years
Of hell.
of hell.
Yes.
Tell me about those 5 years.
My son was diagnosed with ADHD when he was younger. He was bullied for many, many years. No father figure in his life. It was just me and him and my daughter. And it was very hard on him. The bullying took a big toll on him. He turned to drugs. He told me to hide the pain. He didn't want to feel anything anymore. Then he became involved in selling drugs. And that made him popular. Then everybody wanted to be around him. So they'd go see him. The girls would love to be around him because he had exactly what they wanted. So it just was always spiraling non-stop until he started using fentanyl, and it killed him.
And tell me about that day.
That was a bad day. I saw him at 11 o'clock in the morning alive. He had his basement bedroom at the house, and he had a friend here, a girlfriend. I guess he went back downstairs after I saw him. We never spoke because we'd had an argument the night before over drugs. And he smoked the fentanyl, and the girl that he was seeing came upstairs and had a shower and let him die and didn't even tell me he was overdosing. Around 4 o'clock in the afternoon, I'd stepped out of the house. The girl called me, asking me, screaming at me, where was I? And she said, I think he's dead. So I flew up the street and ran down into the basement, and I started CPR. But I already knew he was gone. I'd been around, I'd been in healthcare, I'd seen bodies deceased, and I knew he was gone, but I had to do whatever I could to try to get a heartbeat. But it didn't work. The paramedics came, 5 shots of Narcan to the heart, and nothing, and he was gone. And it was the worst day of my life.
How has that day changed your life and how you look at it?
I just want to be able to help people. And I remember after he died, I said to my daughter that hopefully one day I'll be capable of doing something positive to help, others that are suffering with mental health and drug addiction. And that's kind of what I've been working on lately.
So that brings us to our next topic,
Yes, I'm sure.
Wanting to help. And, we're seeing more and more issues of drugs and drug addiction in the city of Kawartha Lakes. And I think you have an inside look at that issue and what we should be doing about it. What do you think needs to be done to stem the tide?
In general, in the community, there needs to be more access for help. There needs to be more than just forecast in the community. There has to be some sort of programs available that are even a stepping stone to get them to get to forecast. I mean, maybe there's not going to be a rehabilitation center in Lindsay, which would be amazing if there could be, but I'm sure that won't be happening here. But something that would benefit and give these people a chance at life again. I mean, I know they have to be willing to want it, but I'm sure there's people out there that want the help. But it takes so long to get into any programs. They end up they keep using, and they end up either dead or, I don't know, close to death anyways.
And you said your son had gotten a bed, right?
It took months and months with forecast meetings. And then when he finally was interviewed for Toronto Rehabilitation Center down there, he got in for December the 21st, and he died October the 26th.
How does that make you feel?
Angry. I mean, why couldn't it have been quicker? And I phoned up the place in Toronto to let them know he died, and I said, you can give the bed to someone else. Maybe they'll have a chance at life. And the lady went, what do you mean? I said, my son died like I told you he would. So, you can only do so much, and as a single mother, with no extra funding to put them into rehab somewhere that's $30,000 a month, I couldn't do that. So it would have to be the process of what my son went through, which took forever. And things have to change. That's not fair, because there are people out there that want help. You know, they're not all just, you know, drug addicts. They're human beings.
Tell me about Skylar as a human being.
Amazing guy. Big heart, good looking kid, talented musician, funny, humorous, big heart, always kind to people. He was just all around good guy. People loved him.
You've started a bit of a crusade against one of the buildings here in town that is housing
For the homeless.
and there are some people in there that are drug addicted.
All people in there, not some. All of them.
And what's your problem with that building?
Well, it seems to me, and many others have even said the same thing, it's like they picked the 24 plus people that were criminals and addicts, put them all under one roof, one umbrella, and just let them die. Period. Maybe that wasn't their intention in the beginning, but that's what it's become in there. That place is unbelievable.
What's it become in there?
Prostitution, drug addicts, drug dealers, axes thrown at doors, guns. Recently I've heard human trafficking now. Yeah, it's an ambulance there right now as we speak. Police there all the time. The security guard that Forecast put in place is about 70 years old. Goes around with a plaid shirt on and a fedora. I actually asked him if he lived in the building, but no, he's security. So, yeah, I'm sure he can help everyone on crystal meth when they're Superman.
What do you think they should have done with that building?
I agree with people having a home to live. That's for sure. I mean, everyone deserves that. I think that they should have had things in place before they opened up to the people, but what they're saying in all the articles that have gone in the paper is that it's not about that. It's about them building relationships first with each other. Well, they've all done that. They've built relationships on where they can get drugs, where they can get spotted drugs. You know, that's the kind of relationships that are going on right now. There's fighting in there. It's just, you find needles. It's not a healthy environment in there. So they should have had the common rooms already set up for NA meetings, maybe group Forecast meetings, anything that would benefit them. And even if only one person attended a meeting, then one person attends the meeting. And then maybe from there, a dominoes effect would come into play and two people would go. I mean, they are not made to do anything. There's no rules, there's no conditions in that building. It's a free-for-all. They can do whatever they want because it's their own leased apartment. So the police arrive and their hands are tied. They do nothing.
Tell me about the petition.
Well, that's basically what the petition's pertaining to, is spreading awareness to the taxpayers. You know, the people that pay for this building, pay for all the damage in the building, the people that work for a living. You know, they don't get welfare checks. They actually go out every day and commute or stay in town and work, you know, raise their families. You know, these people are the ones that are putting their taxes into this building so that the people on welfare, the people on long-term disability, which that's a little different. Yes, I agree with that. But they're spending their money on drugs. You know, they get food from a place called Home. They get food from, you know, food banks, or Forecast will help them out with food. But other than that, they can do whatever they want. I know someone who's damaged his apartment quite heavily and nothing gets done.
How do you think Skylar would feel about you doing this?
What I've been doing, he'd be happy. I think so. You know, I was his rock. I was there for him through everything. I never left his side, so right till the day he died. So yeah, he'd be happy. He'd want to see me do something. He didn't want to be a drug addict. He was one, but he didn't want to be one. He wanted to get help.